Thanks for coming along today, Andy. Great to see you. And we're talking about Chrome Flex. I suppose the first question to ask you then is, what's the reason for choosing Chrome OS Flex?
I think there was a number of reasons, really. Following lockdown, we really wanted to maintain the momentum on the things that we'd built on during lockdown. We put together and embarked on a digital strategy in 2021 to transform the teaching and learning, really, in the whole user experience for staff and students at Hipperholme. Through that, we really wanted to deploy one-to-one Chromebooks for our staff. We wanted the students to go ahead and purchase those so that they would also get one-to-one devices in the senior school, and in the juniors we really moved on to using classroom sets. In the investment that we did in overhauling and upgrading our classrooms, we invested in improved audiovisual and our Wi-Fi infrastructure. So we replaced, probably like a lot of schools, we had a number of projectors, overhead projectors, and on booms and beams and on walls. We replaced all of that and the clutter that goes with it, with speakers and the whole sort of infrastructure around projectors. And we replaced that with some large flat panel Promethean interactive displays. Mm-hmm. So that investment went in just before we embarked really on the digital strategy. We really wanted to engage in some more diverse ranges of teaching and learning that we built on really during lockdown, and enhance the education and the digital skills of both the staff and the students, and allow sort of greater, I guess, collaboration and flexibility in the classroom. What we also wanted to do was integrate the whole technology into the classroom, into the learning environment, rather than just put that in traditional IT suite. So we had a conscious move away from IT suites. The next phase then after this sort of infrastructure and teaching environment was to really modernize and upgrade what we had in our classroom and office fleet of which was then some aging Windows 8.1 PCs. We wanted a faster, more secure and a modern operating system, and building on our early adoption really of Google Workspace back in 2013, really the natural choice seemed to be Chrome OS Flex to use for this, to repurpose some of our existing hardware.
Excellent. Yeah, I understand that. Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's great. Thanks for that, Andy. So how did Chrome OS Flex help you modernize your fleet devices and help you reduce waste and become more sustainable?
Okay, well, really as part of our overall refresh and modernization of our classrooms and office fleets, we'd recently required some all-in-one Dell PCs, which were Core i5. They're sort of mid-range PCs, and what we wanted to do was to be able to try and use those. We also had, and on our current fleet, was really an end-of-life Windows 8.1 PC. So those two things are really, we wanted to try and use those if we could, without having to move on to investing considerable money in probably unnecessary brand new devices. So by repurposing sort of those mid-range all-in-ones, that allowed us to really be and move on to an affordable, faster, modern, more secure operating system, really. And having already rolled out one-to-one devices for teaching staff and one-to-one devices that were purchased by students, this allowed us to manage, if you like, the whole fleet of those alongside those existing devices in the Google console in the cloud. So it extended the lifespan of these PCs that we had bought. It reduced all the waste, the e-waste particularly, and really saved us money. So Chrome OS is really designed to be more secure. It blocks executables. It's got sandbox technology. So all of that really helped working alongside the one-to-one Chromebooks for it all to be much more secure and really on a common platform.
Excellent.
It also reduced, things like cyber attacks and data breaches, and it's really designed to be secure. So all in all, it was a good investment. We also managed to, by doing the classroom refresh and going to these all-in-one devices, really reduce the number of plug-in devices that we had in the classrooms. With the all-in-ones, it was just one plug for the monitor and the PC. There were no more speakers. There wasn't a projector. There weren't cable runs and booms and AV cables running around the ceiling. It was a much cleaner, more modern environment. And overall, that reduced the energy consumption really in our classroom. So it's less plugs, less energy, greater savings. And overall, the amount of equipment when it all came out was quite substantial in terms of all PCs, projectors, speakers, bits of cables, all sorts of peripheral devices. Kept our local weed provider very happy disposing of all that. We did manage to support a local education charity. Teaching maths was one of our maths teachers in repurposing some of those really old devices for them to be able to use in certain areas within Bradford for teaching maths. And we got them on the road to using Chrome OS as well. So a real win-win all round. Our next step really is to move to a completely serverless, cloud-based environment. So that's going to enable us to not have so much infrastructure. It will allow us to get rid of our server room, all the air conditioning that goes with that, save on hardware, save on real estate, on the maintenance, service contracts, and overall reduce the e-waste and be, I guess, much more energy conscious and energy efficient in the long run.
Excellent. That's great. Thanks for that, Andy. How did Chrome OS Flex help your school save money?
Well, just to put it in context, we're a small independent through school covering the ages of 3 to 16. We have about 300 students and about 50 full-time equivalent staff. So we're quite a small school, but we live in the middle of a very competitive market in West Yorkshire, really sort of between Leeds, Bradford and Huddersfield. And we've got a good range of state and independent grammar schools that we compete with. So really what is very important is that we invest in the right areas. And using Chrome OS Flex, because it's free to use initially, and quite cheap really with the license that you need to use it and to add devices into the domain, it really allowed us to invest in the things that we absolutely needed. So the hard equipment, like we needed to invest in Promethean flat panel displays in the classroom and to get rid of some of the old projectors and clutter associated with that, we could invest in the new. What Chrome OS allowed us to do, therefore, was repurpose some of our older hardware PCs and allowed us to upgrade to a more modern, more efficient and secure operating system without the need to go out and buy a whole load of new equipment. So repurposing existing hardware, extending the lifespan of the current devices, this was all possible with Chrome OS and gave us, the ability to really balance that mix of investment between what we needed to in the new and what we could do with the repurposed. Overall, I think it's allowed us to move forward in a lot of areas. We've enhanced the teaching and learning experience for both our staff and our students, and we've allowed a lot more innovative ways of working. And it's given everybody a consistent environment to work within, a consistent operating system, without the clutter of projectors and switching the lights off and pulling the blinds down. We can work now in a modern clutter-free environment with good modern equipment. So we've changed that whole look and feel by allowing us to get that mix right between investment of new and existing, repurpose where we can do. And with the Google console, we've been able, therefore, to deploy apps, deploy extensions and other cloud services without really the need to go and invest in additional applications and hardware. Our next steps really, continuing that, are really to move into a whole cloud environment, serverless, get rid of our on-premises server room and air conditioning, and that's going to just help with the overall reduction in maintenance costs, in software, hardware, and infrastructure, and overall allow us to be much more agile and versatile and immerse ourselves in the whole Google and workspace environment. So good all round, really.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That's been really interesting.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's been a journey, and it's a journey that we're part way down and we're yet to complete. So it's really benefited how we operate as a school and position as well within that competitive marketplace.
Excellent. Fantastic.